Okay, because these both have a coefficient of 1 and these both have a coefficient of 1, we know that these are both circles. Okay, anytime that you have the same shape, technically you could have infinitely many solutions. If you were limited by solutions and you had two different circles, right, then the most that you could get for a solution would be 2 solutions. All right, you wouldn't have any more than that. All right, so infinitely many, or like I said, I don't think that infinitely many will come up. So if you had 2 different circles, 2 solutions max possible. All right, so I'm going to look at 2 different techniques for how we can solve this. All right, first I'll take a look at the elimination. So just follow along now. If you were to eliminate, you could just take row 1 minus row 2. Okay, and if I rewrote that, row 1 stays the same. And then row 2 would be opposite all the values. So negative x squared minus 8x minus y squared equals 0. And if we were to add those together, then we would get negative 8x equals 64. So that's the elimination. Okay. The other way you could have done it was through substitution. And here's what the substitution will look like. I have x squared plus y squared equals 64. Well, for the bottom row, I could get x squared plus y squared equals negative 8x by moving the 8x to the other side. And what happens is, now I have x squared plus y squared on the left hand here, and x squared plus y squared on the left hand there, so then the right hand sides have to equal each other. All right, so you guys have 2 ways to do it, substitution or elimination, and you end up at the same place. Does that make sense? So even though we have 2 terms on the left-hand side, because they are both x squared and y squared, both of them are that way, then the right-hand sides have to equal each other also. So it is a form of substitution, because then I'm just saying, oh, I'm going to substitute 64 into this x squared plus y squared. Okay? So what do you guys want to do, elimination or substitution?
Elimination.
All right, elimination. So elimination. We're going to do row 1 minus row 2. All right. So then we get x squared plus y squared equals 64. And then negative x squared. Negative x squared minus 8x minus y squared equals 0. So then we get negative 8x equals 64. Therefore, what does x equal? Equals negative 8. All right. What do you guys want to plug into? Row 1 or row 2? Row
1.
So x equals negative 8 into row 1. So then we get negative 8 squared plus y squared equals 64. 64 plus y squared equals 64. So what does y equal? Y equals 0. So now we have negative 8, 0, but what do you have to do? You need to check. So here we would get negative 8 squared plus 8 times negative 8 plus 0 squared equals 0. And here we get a positive 64 minus 64. Does that equal 0? Yes, so we're good to go. All right, and a lot of you guys will do this in your head. That's fine. Like, you don't have to write out the check. Everybody good? Okay. For D, what is the first part? This is a line. The second part? How many possible solutions? All right, 2. Okay. What do you guys want to do here? For this one we really can't pick from elimination. And the reason why we can't do elimination here is because we have a combination where we have x squared and y squared, but in the other one we have a y and an x, so we actually don't have common terms in both equations. So elimination is not a great choice here. Substitution, though, is excellent because I already have y solved for. All right, so we are going to substitute y into row 2. So in row 2, I have x squared plus y squared equals 50, but what is y? Y equals 3x minus 10. Good. So we get x squared plus, careful here, what is this going to multiply to? 9x squared minus 60x. Remember, we're going to have a 3 times negative 10, so that's negative 30. But then you have it twice when you're distributing. So negative 30x plus negative 30x is negative 60x. And then the last one's going to be plus 100 equals 50. What would you do from here? We're going to move the 50 over, and we're going to combine like terms. So 1 plus 9 is 10x squared minus 60x plus 50 equals 0. What could help us solve from here? I would divide everything by 10. Okay. So for graphing purposes, the graph will look different, but anytime you're just trying to solve, you can go ahead and remove leading coefficients if possible. So because the zeros are in the same position. So if we divide everything by 10, we get x squared minus 6x plus 5 equals 0. Now what? Factor. And what are our two numbers? Minus 5 minus 1. So we get x equals 5 and x equals 1. Okay? What do you guys want to do from here? Now that we know x, we need to plug in to find y. So I'm going to plug into this first equation here. We get x equals 5 into row 1. So we get y equals 3 times 5 minus 10. What's 15 minus 10? 5. So our ordered pair here is 5, 5. So x is 5, y is 5. And then we check. All right, so let's go ahead. This is pretty simple to do in our heads. What's 5 squared? Plus 5 squared? 25. Is 25 plus 25 50? Yes, so that's one of our solutions. And then we're going to plug x equals 1 into row 1. So we get y equals 3 times 1 minus 10 equals what? Negative 7. So the ordered pair is 1, negative 7. So let's see if it works. What's 1 squared? 1. What is negative 7 quantity squared? Positive 49. What's 1 plus 49? 50. So we're good to go.